So we are in front of pages and pages of memories and diaries from Wuhan. How did you get these memories? How did you achieve to have a personal contact with a citizen from Wuhan in the period of the lockdown and of the first pandemic?
I think social media like Twitter really helped a lot for the people to speaking up when they cannot have a platform inside of China. Because of my practice for so many years, so people are not just recognize my artwork, but also I have the privilege to winning people's trust. So when I realized the lockdown has been happening in Wuhan, I know that it will not just be a physical lockdown, it will also be the information lockdown. So I offered on Twitter saying that I'm happy to become your platform and your voices. If you're in Wuhan and want to share your story, tell me privately. And then I will publish your information under my own account so that you will not be related, so that the people inside of Wuhan will not be subject to threat or harassment. And this person is one of many of the Wuhan residents sending me information, but the special of this whole work is actually I have a page of diary every day which covering the entire 100 days of the lockdown back in years in Wuhan. So I think we've always been surrounded by this kind of big narrative, national narrative. What has been missing is a perspective from individual, from one person. But it's not just for one moment, one day. It's giving you a whole picture, a timeline of how this lockdown is developed, how it strips away people's hope every day when they're struggling to even put food on the table because of this brutal lockdown.
I think that is something also that concerns the horror of forgetfulness and the desperation of being not listened, not there. And so it's not just collecting anthropological material, which is quite enough, but also giving the idea that every person, every individual could have an important diary to share. So there is always these two layers in your work, the specific context, Wuhan in this case, but also the universal context. And we didn't show here the drawing that you did for this diary.
Yes.
Have you any project to publish this part? Because this diary was always presented with a work of yours.
Right, so, because during the process of collecting all those diaries and materials, I didn't just try to post it in Chinese. I actually organized a group of volunteers to translate it into English so that more people around the world will be able to read it without language barrier. And for me as an artist, I was creating a lot of illustration to coming with everyday's diary. I do hope in the future that there will be publishers, be interested to this very important evidence. And maybe when we can publish it as a book, then we can including more informations like my art be accompanying of it. But I think for this work here, for me it's important to highlighting the message itself instead of my interpretation. I want it to be just lay out almost nakedly without intervention. When we're reading a book, it is always closed, that you have to open it. For this work, I really just want people to have an experience that this is every page of a book, and now it's all unfolded in front of you. But because of the language barrier, that you might have difficulty to understand it, even though you know the significance of it. And the journey for you to find a way to translate it, to take a photo of it, to digging more, is an assignment or homework that I want to leave to the audiences. It is not that hard, but it will take time for you to place a phone in front of it, to take a photo, to use translating software. It's achievable, but it will require some effort.
Very interesting, but if you want, you can also read some pages in the catalog in the meanwhile in Italian.
Thank you.
Thank you.